Hey Ashley,
Hey Casey.
this is Nostalgic Nightcaps.
Oh my gosh.
What is that all about?
This is our podcast where we talk about movies and books and music and pop culture from the 80s, 90s, and today, like a radio station.
I was gonna say not today.
No, not today. Not really.
Well, yesteryear.
Yeah, yesteryear. And we pair it with a themed cocktail or drink of some sort each week.
I want to say off the top, we have two very important birthdays this month,
Oh my goodness.
and one of them is for the episode we're doing today.
Hmm.
A Goofy movie turns 30 years
The big
old.
3-0.
We are old AF,
I know.
BTW,
Because we're older than it.
because Ashley. You were 5 when this movie came out. You turned 35 this year. Is that okay if I tell everyone how old you are and your social security number?
Oh, yeah, just slip that in too. That's fine.
So two of my favorite things are,
Aw.
getting up there in age.
Yeah,
It's a really nice thing to say to
yeah,
someone. Huh?
yeah. It's beautiful.
It's okay, my turn comes next.
I know it's coming up soon.
She comes for everyone, okay?
Oh my God. Now that's for our OnlyFans.
Oh, oh, oh. Oh my goodness.
Just kidding. We don't have an OnlyFans.
Old knee fans.
Old knees. It's just cracking noises and
I have so many of those actually.
yeah.
And
It's
you know what? The 30th birthday of one of my favorite movies ever is coming at a good time. It's at a way better time than our 30th birthdays came out, which was right in
oh
the middle
yeah.
of a worldwide pandemic. Ever heard of
Mhm.
it?
Right at the start. Rough.
Yeah, did I say middle? I don't know. It was a really
I
weird
mean, it was
time.
pretty much. It was in there.
But yeah, I when I saw that, I was like, oh, we have to do this. And then
Absolutely.
a documentary came out this week, which we're going to talk about on a bonus episode next week.
Yes.
It was an emotional day.
Yeah. I I was gonna say I didn't expect to cry, but I kind of did, so
Oh yeah, no, I cried 4 times actually.
yeah.
I cried twice during the movie and twice
Oh,
during the documentary, and actually 5 times, 3 times during the documentary. Because
yeah.
one of the times I cried in the documentary is the same scene that I cried at in the
Oh,
movie of the
yeah.
car on top of the
I
car.
know.
Oh,
So sweet.
yeah. So why don't I tell you a little bit about a Goofy movie if you've never heard
Yeah,
of it or seen it or.
please do. I mean, some people may not know much about it because it wasn't huge at the
It
time.
was not that successful. I have so much to
Mm-mm.
say about that when we get to our
I
documentary
know.
episode.
Ugh,
But remember Goofy? Remember that guy?
what? Who?
Mickey Mouse's friend, but not his best friend. Donald Duck's his best friend. And
Hmm.
it's canon in this movie. Goofy has a son named Max, and Max is a teenager. And so they're growing apart, and Max wants to do all these teenage things by himself, doesn't want anything to do with his goofy ass dad, because
Hmm.
his dad is goofy as shit.
Literally goofy.
And Max is obsessed with Powerline, this major pop star that's like an amalgamation of like Prince and Michael Jackson, pretty
Yeah.
much.
Which who wouldn't be? He's the
Ugh,
coolest.
Tevin Campbell. I have been listening to some Tevin Campbell songs.
Yeah. He's got a good voice. I've never listened to his other stuff.
I did not expect him to be as young as he was when he was recording.
I know, right?
He
I
was
was
so
I
young.
was surprised too.
Anyways, we'll talk about that next week. Sorry. He's obsessed with Powerline, and on the last day of school, he decides because he nobody pays attention to him. They think he's a goof. He's got a crush on this girl, Roxanne, and he wants to impress her. So in front of everyone, he does this big Powerline dance
Yeah.
music video, and he accidentally goes out on stage, goes tumbling out on stage, and everyone's like, "Ah, he's so cool!" And Roxanne is whirling the fuck
He
out of
is
her.
loving it.
So he gets caught, gets sent to the principal's office, and Goofy during this time is being talked to by Pete, who is PJ is Max's best friend, and that's his dad. Pete is his
Mhm.
dad. If you've ever seen Goof Troop, you'll know all the lore.
Yes. Gotta watch it.
So Pete, I actually just watched an episode. I wouldn't.
Oh, the bad.
It does not have the same heart. If you want
Okay.
something super silly and like whatever, obviously
Yeah.
it's a Saturday morning cartoon. But after watching a Goofy movie, it is
Not
the
the
complete
same.
opposite thing.
Hmm.
So Pete is telling Goofy that he needs to get his son under control because he's going to end up in prison.
Hmm.
Then Goofy gets a call from Max's principal and decides that he is going to take him on this fishing trip to Lake Destiny.
Hmm. Which, by the way, the principal is like telling him your son's gonna end up in the electric chair. Like, what in the world? How messed
School to
up.
prison pipeline, I'm telling you. Oh, and also voiced by Wallace Shawn. We'll get to
I
that.
know, love him.
So Roxanne comes in and ends up telling Max how much she, loved his performance and invites him to her friend's viewing party of the Powerline concert.
Yes. On pay-per-view.
He gets home and Goof is his name Goofy Goof, by the way?
I guess so.
Unless
Yeah,
like that's like a nickname for his last name, but because their last name is Goof, his name's Max
you're right.
Goof.
Maximilian Goof.
Goofy is like, we are going on this trip because I need to save our relationship. And so Max has to go and tell Roxanne that I know that this is like a beat by beat, but this is all very important.
It is. You gotta know.
Max has to go tell Roxanne that he cannot come with her to the party, and she's very disappointed. And then he lies and says that it's because he's going to the Powerline concert in Los Angeles, and he is going to be on stage because his dad is friends with Powerline.
Yeah. He used to be in a band with him.
Yes. So they go off on this trip, hijinks ensue. Obviously, they're not getting along. And then one day, Max decides to erase the way to Lake Destiny and instead go to Los Angeles, put the pencil mark to Los Angeles.
Yes.
And yeah, that's then they go off on the trip. They start getting along again, but there's still that thing of what Max did.
Hmm.
And that's where it all goes.
That's how it goes.
There's Bigfoot,
And
there's possums, there's RVs, there's just everything you could
what
possibly
more
want
could
in
you
a movie.
want?
Nothing. I'm like out of breath. That's also because I was really sick last week.
Oh no. Are you all
Just because I've been
better?
talking. I am like
Yeah,
completely. I
that's good.
thought I was dying. It was my turn to
Yeah.
die but because one of us always has to be kind of dying.
Hmm.
And I I don't know what happened, but it was my nose will never recover.
Was it COVID? Did you test?
No, it was not COVID.
Yeah.
No, I'm pretty sure what it was a because I had a sinus infection the week before,
Ooh.
and I think it was a sinus infection that turned into a respiratory infection.
Oh boy.
But I have bounced back.
You're a-okay.
She is ready to go
Yes. On a road trip.
on a road trip.
What's our drink for this?
So I have made the power line. That's what I just got it, the
Oh,
power line.
yeah, of course.
The power line.
Ooh, that was weird. It
This
looked like I was like blinking.
oh, because I have like because I have my touch up my appearance turned all the way up
Oh,
because I just look like horse shit today. So nothing is real that you're seeing right now. And
okay.
it still looks like shit.
No.
Okay, the power line is a mocktail because I'm still kind of recovering. So I just like,
Yeah.
I need to build my immune system a little bit.
Mhm.
So this is a multi-part cocktail recipe, but a lot simpler than my last one. I actually highly recommend this one because
Yeah.
it's so simple, but it feels so fancy. So the first part of this is that you're going to make cinnamon simple syrup. In
Okay.
a saucepan, you're going to combine half a cup of sugar, half cup water, and 4 cinnamon sticks. And you're going to cook that over medium-high heat, stirring occasionally until sugar is dissolved for about 5 minutes.
Okay.
So then you'll remove that from the heat and let those cinnamon sticks just sit in that for about 30 minutes and then remove them. Transfer to, jar, storage device of whatever, and put it in the fridge.
Of your choosing.
Next part is going to be your mocktail. So you're going to take a cocktail shaker, you're going to muddle mint and lime juice, and then you're going to add pineapple juice and cinnamon simple syrup. I'll
Mm.
have all of the exact measurements on our Instagram. So you muddled and then you added that, and then you add ice to the cocktail shaker and you shake it up for 30 seconds at least. And then you're going to double strain, which means not only are you going to use the strainer of the
Mhm.
shaker, you're going to have your little sifter.
Okay.
You're going to pour that over 2 glasses filled with ice. This makes 2 glasses, by the way. Sorry, guys.
Oh.
I'm all over the place.
It's
This one
okay.
makes two. Have a friend over.
Oh, maybe your dad. Bring your dad over.
Oh, so over 2 glasses of ice, I used shaved ice, crushed ice,
Yeah,
because I just think that cocktails taste better with that. If your fridge
agreed.
has that set. So you're gonna pour some of that over there, and then you are going to top that with some ginger beer. You're gonna
Mm.
stir that to combine. I added a little lime wheel on top of that, and I have a beautiful mocktail.
Voila.
It is a little like spicy, not like hot spicy, not that heat spicy, but like spices. It just has a lot of
Mm.
spices. I
Yeah,
like that.
that sounds good. It sounds like refreshing but spicy. Good combo.
I will say that I've been drinking just like kind of little mocktails that are pretty much like juice and seltzer water,
Yeah.
out of like a fancy glass, and I feel drunk and happy.
Yeah.
I
It's
don't know
just
what it
the
is.
placebo, you just
It is.
feeling good. Just have a little fancy drink.
Although I do always like I'm like, oh, isn't that weird that I'm acting wild? And Rand's like, that's just the way you act. So I
You're
don't
always
think it's
like
a
that.
I don't think it's placebo. I think you're just weird.
That could be.
Maybe I'm a goof.
Oh, you might be. You gotta
I'm a
check
goof.
out your ancestry.
In the goof region of France.
Yes. Uh,
Yeah, let's get into the movie.
all
Into
right.
a goofy movie. I'm so excited for this.
I know. God, I love this movie so much.
Yeah,
It's so good.
tell me how much you love it. Tell me your history. Tell me everything, how you feel about it, exactly where you were when you first watched it. Tell me,
Oh my goodness. Wow. Well, it was April 7th, 1995. I was
I was
not.
4 years old, almost five. I was on the cusp of the greatest year of my life.
Yep. And boy, did I know it that it was gonna be good. No, I don't know when I first watched it.
Yeah.
I did not see it in theaters, but I did have the VHS and I watched it constantly. So many times. I the music in this
Mm.
is amazing. Like they're actually like good songs, like real songs.
Because of what they talked about in the documentary, where they were
Yeah.
like, we wanted to make something that sounded like an R&B hit,
Hmm.
and it
And it
shows.
did. And like, just the little detail of making it be the letter I, the number two letter I for eye to eye. How 90s, How clever.
I think the weekend before last, I was at my local neighborhood bar and I got control of that good old touch tunes and I played Eye to Eye, which
Oh,
you have to look it up under Tevin Campbell. It's not under a Goofy movie, it's
oh,
under
okay.
Tevin Campbell. But I
Good
played
to
it
know.
and the amount of people that were like, "Oh my God." Like everyone was pumped.
Yes. It's amazing.
Hmm.
How about you? When did you learn about this old film?
You know, like I don't remember seeing it as a child. I definitely did. However, I think the age that it really hit me, which is weird, which is 13, 14 years old in your basement,
Yep.
in your little
And
basement with your VHS.
yeah, my little TV.
And I don't know what it was. I'm not a dad. I'm not a son. I'm not a dog. I can't sing. I don't know. But I relate a lot to this movie.
Yeah.
And you and I like went through a period, as we do with every single thing we've ever watched together, where we become absolutely obsessed with it. It becomes our
Hmm.
entire lives.
Yep.
And you had the Goofy movie soundtrack on your pink iPod
Yes.
Nano.
Oh gosh.
And when we were 16, I guess, and you were driving us to school, we were playing that we were cranking up some Goofy movie soundtrack. And we thought we
Yep.
were so cool, and we
I
were.
know. We were. Yeah, absolutely. I would still.
I do think it's funny because yeah, I don't remember watching it at all when I was a child, but I do
Never?
remember watching it. I don't remember. We definitely didn't have it on VHS. I doubt I saw it in the theater. I probably saw it at like a daycare or like at my cousin's or something.
Yeah.
But I just when I was 13, 14 years old with you, like we we just watched this every single weekend.
Yeah. And I mean, they really made it for they said in the documentary that Max is supposed to be 14. So it makes sense.
Mm.
You know, that was the age when it felt real, you know?
The reason we probably don't really remember specifically watching it as kids is because it does feel like an older movie for a 13, 14-year-old
It
rather
does,
than
yeah.
a kid because it is so it's been a movie that's been there for me and it still is. I love this movie so much. And as I
Mhm.
was watching it today, I was like, my friggin' husband, Ryan,
That
he
guy.
quotes this movie all the time. Multiple instances. I said, "Excuse me?"
Oh, that's where that's from.
It made me laugh really hard. Especially because 2 days ago when we were having a walk, he just kept on for some reason finding ways to reference the movie Brink with Eric Von
Oh my
Detten.
God. Yeah,
And then today I pull up Disney Plus, not sponsored by Disney Plus, but I did watch
should be.
everything today on it. And what was the number one picked for you pick of movies? Fucking Brink.
Oh my God.
It was listening.
What? It knows. Man, we should do that movie. That one was something.
I never have seen it.
You've
So
never
you
seen
can pick
it?
it. You can pick it all
Are
you
you
fucking want, but
kidding
I've
me?
never seen it. I didn't have Disney Channel, okay? And I didn't like sports, and I still don't.
Neither did I.
Yeah, but you watched everything that's ever been on
That's
television.
true. That's true.
Like on cable television. I watched everything that was ever been on network television.
We're not the same.
No. I know I'm Bargain Basement Ashley Spear. Oh, I remembered what I was gonna say before. And this actually ties into the first thing that I want to talk about with this movie,
All right.
which is the nostalgic 90s of it all, which is
Hmm.
not something that you felt in Disney movies that came out of the time, or even really still. They're all
Yeah.
fairy tales set, in a mythic kingdom or whatever. And this was like so authentically, as I said, MTV generation. Like Pete says that in the movie.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It was completely different from anything they were doing or have done since.
Mhm.
I can't think of really a single other Disney animated movie that is.
Set like in the present time. Except for
Yeah,
like now there's like Inside Out and stuff.
that's true. Yeah,
That's Pixar too, so
that is true. But, and with like no like supernatural, I mean,
mm,
they're dogs, but it's not like,
fantastical, yeah.
yeah, yeah,
They're people though. Like
they
it's
are.
really
Yeah.
confusing because Max and Goofy, their ears like are kind of a part of their hair, but there
Hmm.
are their ears. But if you
Yeah,
look at Roxanne, she has little people ears.
that's true. Yeah.
Although she actually, now that I think about it, because her dad is like a little bulldog kind of, and then she kind of had those kind of ears, but they kind of are situated as human ears on the sides of her head rather than the top.
Yeah, that makes sense. Different kinds of dog ears going on. You know, little floppy ones.
But yeah, they are essentially human beings.
Yeah, in just like your regular everyday world.
Mhm.
That's not the norm.
A world without gravity, maybe at times.
True, yeah. The waterfall,
Yeah.
not happening.
But that is kind of a thing that they talked about in the documentary, where it was like we are making a movie set in the time that it is, and
Hmm.
the characters are interacting with the world that we are in
Yeah.
as it was happening, which is, as you said, so unique to
Hmm.
Disney at all.
Yeah.
And I think that's why having these voices like Wallace Shawn and Pauly Shore was essential to the movie.
Yes. Because they are so 90s. Holly Shore. I was looking up, he wanted to be uncredited in it, and he was. Because I was like, I looked at Polly Shore's IMDb and it wasn't there. I was like, what's going on?
Oh,
But he didn't want them to like use his name to make the movie bigger or anything. He just wanted to be a part of it, which I thought was really cool.
yeah.
Wanted to basically be himself in dog human cartoon form.
Just eating cheese straight
Yes.
straight from the can. That was so disgusting. I wanted a
Which is just
girl.
like, it's just weed. The cheese
Yeah.
is just weed.
The
It's just a
cheese
big
was
stoner.
weed.
The cheese is weed.
Guys, I feel like I'm high when I hear
I
you
know,
say
right?
that.
That's why they were saying he was gonna go to prison. He's hanging out with the stoner kids.
Well, that's the other thing that felt very quintessentially 90s in a
Hmm.
bad way was how I think it was Pete that said that or it might have been the principal, but said that, oh, it was the principal because he said Max got on stage dressed like a gang member
Yeah,
and put on a
which,
performance or whatever. Which,
ugh,
what gang? I want to be part of
right.
that gang. Cool
Yeah,
gang, BTW.
yeah.
But I was like, ugh. And you
I
know what? The
know.
principal would have said that.
Oh yeah, he would have. And I mean, it's just because, I mean, Powerline is clearly supposed to be black. And I think that's what he was implying, like black people are gang members.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, not absolutely that that's
I mean,
true. I meant like
no,
absolutely that
that's what they were
that's what they were
implying. That was
saying.
like, yeah,
But yeah, I love how they got Wallace Shawn in there for like three lines.
I know, like nothing. He had the little speech about the science
Mhm.
slumber parties and how they cannot waste their summer.
Everyone's
And then
asleep.
he's calling the dad, calling Goofy.
I love how Stacy gets up on stage. Stacy's Roxanne's best friend, and everyone loves her. And the
I
nerdy boys are
know.
like, "What? Talk to me, Stacy."
It's so funny.
She's like cool, and she has
Yes,
glasses.
I know, yeah. And braces, right?
Yeah, and she's dressed like Blossom,
Hmm. Yeah. Little hat.
kind of a mom
Yeah.
with a. She's got like slacks and a blazer on, and yeah, with
Yeah.
a hat.
Goofy.
That is
Goofy.
so silly that people dress like that. And look, I get it because we had our business cash
We sure
eras.
did. Yeah.
It was just much smaller and more contained than like big old
Yeah.
clothes
This
and
was
big old
like a
hats.
80s holdover with the shoulder
Mhm.
pads and the
Yeah,
big like pleats in the pants.
so goofy. Roxanne's wearing like little Bermuda shorts
I
and
know.
high rise buttons and a
Hmm.
little t-shirt. She looks so cute.
She does.
I feel like that's what you wore when we
Yeah.
were in high school.
She's me. Not
She is
really.
kind of you. Kinda.
Kinda.
I'm Stacy.
You're Stacy.
I'm like, that's Roxanne's man.
Stay away from him.
That's Roxanne's man. You stay away from Max.
Yes, that's true. Kind of are. Hmm. Here we got our inspiration.
The road trip. Let's get into the road trip. The father-son road trip.
Yes.
Because they take off. And the first place that Goofy decides to take them, it was apparently a place that Max loved as a kid. And it's Lester's Possum Park, which is horrifying.
I know, right?
And it's so funny because it's just like so clearly this like making fun of Disney in the best way possible.
Oh yeah. 'Cause- Yeah, just like these weird animal characters.
Yeah, these like, and they're like broken. Like, it's the
Yeah.
country bears at Disney World. Like,
Hmm.
these animatronics are not well.
No, they're not. They need a little love.
Yes. And as I hate to bring up a man on this podcast again, but as my husband said when we went to Disney World, he said Disney loved two things, and that's robots and racism.
Hmm.
And you're really seeing that those come together in this
Yeah,
movie.
you are. In, in the best way.
Talk a little bit about Lester's Possum Park if you'd
Lester's
like.
Awesome Park. Yeah, I mean they have the thing. It's like it reminds me of like um you know, oh, why can't I think of what it's called? Circus Pizza. Not Circus
Chuck E.
Pizza.
Cheese's.
Yes. But is that the one that has the
Yeah,
band?
they used to have like the big old Chucky animatronic Chucky, Charles E. Cheese, if you will.
With the band though?
Yeah, yeah.
Why am I thinking it's something else?
Chuck E. Cheese has this wild ass backstory that you have to look into. Go look it up on Wikipedia, okay? I can't do it
Charles
justice. It's
Entertainment Cheese.
yeah, it's wild.
I think there's another one too though that I'm thinking of. I don't know.
I mean, I
Anyway,
feel like animatronics were like a thing back then. Like that's
they
like
were,
it
yeah.
was like it was like high I was gonna say high entertainment. No, high art. I don't know what I was trying to say. But the fact is like it was high technology.
Yes. We didn't have all the technology we have these days.
And you know what? It kind of it's really interesting. Have you ever read The Stepford Wives?
Have not.
You know what that movie or that book's
Yeah.
about.
Yeah.
And at one point, a guy in the neighborhood talks about how he had used to work for Walt Disney because they're
Mm,
replacing these wives with robots.
I
And that's
see.
like a clue, and that's super interesting.
That is and creepy.
It's actually really interesting. And I'll tell you why. I'm so sorry. Can I just interrupt
Okay.
because I just have
Yeah.
to go on for a minute? There is this I'm not going to say ride attraction at at Disney World called
Hmm.
the Carousel of Progress. Have you ever been?
I don't think so. No.
So you just sit in the audience and there's this like revolving stage. And it's like it shows you all these technologies and how they evolve through the years. And it's always like the woman in the kitchen and the
Hmm.
man like fucking around pretty
Yeah.
much.
Yep.
And it just like it really just goes to prove how even though technologies of the kitchen should have freed up women's time and energy, instead what it did was women and men used to have to do equal parts work for the house because when you're making a house, you have to do all these things that take both from the outside and the inside, right? So men were
Hmm.
going and gathering the wood. I'm so off topic right now, but
It's
I'm so
okay.
fascinated by this. So they did do all these things. And then the woman would, do the household things. And
Mm.
as we progressed and as technology got better, the man no longer had to do all of these things. But the
Hmm.
woman still had to do everything in the kitchen. And because things got easier, they were expected to actually do more things.
Yeah.
And so this carousel of progress in at Disney is just like, cool. So still, wife, get in the
Hmm.
kitchen.
Yep. Pretty much.
Um, So Lester's Possum Park.
That never changed. And that brings us to Lester's Possum Park.
I always have found that so fascinating. I'm like,
Yeah,
wait.
I know. Like men actually got to have free time then, and then
Hmm.
no, not us. Mm-mm,
I never had a free moment in my life.
mm-mm,
I'm the laziest
never.
bitch.
But possum is a very interesting choice for this
Hmm.
attraction. Like a whole theme park based on a possum, just like a mouse, you know, as if you make a thing about a mouse.
Oh,
I know, I just put that together.
that took me out. Yeah,
I
because
did
that's
not think about
fucking
that.
weird.
It is.
Mice are nasty.
I
I'm sorry if
know.
you like mice, but they're nasty.
They are. They're like, oh God, we had mice in our old house. Nastiest thing I've ever experienced in my life.
Sometimes there's rats in the city, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
And once in a while, like not in my neighborhood, I've only ever seen a dead one, but has been about that one. But once in a while, if I'm like in a different neighborhood, I'll like see one like scurry. I'm like, ah!
Yeah. I know. Creepy.
That is so weird because I spent the entire time watching this scene at Lester's Possum Park being
Yeah.
like, this is wild.
Yeah.
And their hats are the po playing possum. The hats are the possums playing possum. They're on their
Yes.
backs, but the crosses
Genius.
for the eyes.
Yes.
And I was like, this is
So
sick.
good. Yeah.
But also, it's kind of sick to just wear m mouse ears.
Hmm. Yep. It is.
This goes a lot deeper than I even expected it to.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I we have possums around here and it's weird. I just found out recently that possums were like where they're from Australia or something. Dumb.
Opossums are from Australia.
Okay. But wherever they were brought to San Jose specifically is where the first place in America that they were. And they're
Wait,
still here.
what?
I know. It's
Why
really
would
weird.
you do that?
I don't know.
Why would
They're
you
at
do
Lester's
that?
Possum Park.
Ashley. Jesus.
And I see them scurrying up on the wall. It's disgusting.
They're
Teddy possum.
kind of cute if they're not in the wild. And they're in the
Yeah.
wild and they're like,
They're
you know,
terrifying. They hiss.
yeah.
Yeah.
But like a picture of a baby possum is
Yeah.
friggin' cute.
I can deal with that. I just don't want to be around it.
That I once saw one, I think it was in Woodbury, Minnesota, saw a
Oh,
possum.
interesting.
And I was like, what the fuck?
I know. What are you doing here?
I don't see wild animals. And when I do,
Yeah.
like, there's coyotes that are in the cemetery by us, and they're there on
Oh.
purpose.
Oh,
They
okay.
bring them in, it's like a mother and like two cubs, and they bring them in to take care of the rodents.
Mm, that makes sense.
And they don't hurt people or
Yeah.
anything. But I've seen them 3 times, and every single time it is a jump scare.
I bet. I'd be scared.
Yeah, the first time I was like, is that a dog? Oh my God.
No, it's not a dog.
So I just like am not used to seeing animals in the wild.
Yeah. It is weird, like you get used because we saw so many animals like in the suburbs of Minnesota
Yeah.
that now
Deer.
I hardly
There's
ever see any.
bears.
Yeah. Like the other day I saw some ducks in the parking lot of my work. I was like, what the hell? Like,
Oh, I see
what's
ducks
going
all
on
the time,
here?
but I go walking by the lake.
Yeah,
But
that's
in
fair.
the parking lot, what are you
I
ducks? Go
know.
home.
Yeah. You're gonna get hurt.
So Lester's Possum Park.
Oh yeah.
This is gonna be a long life.
No.
Um, is not only a place to make fun of Disney, which is great. Love it.
Mm.
Love self-referential humor and all that.
Yeah.
But it's also the place where we really see Goofy being goofy and
Hmm.
people laughing at him.
I know. That's sad.
Instead of, because I mean, Max is a kid, he's 15 years old, and he
Mhm.
sees that, and instead of, feeling like bad for his dad, he feels embarrassed to be
Yeah,
his son. And
right.
this entire time he's worried that he's gonna end up just like his dad. So I think it has a lot of that like shame and
Hmm.
guilt tied
Hmm.
up in all of that.
Yeah, because he's like, people are gonna laugh at me, and it is really sad because Goofy's just having fun.
Oh, he's having so much
He's enjoying
fun.
it. He's like on the tree, like hanging upside down.
He is so shameless.
Yes, he knows what he likes, and he just goes for it.
Side note, as everyone's surrounding him laughing at him, there's this lady in the background and she has the longest boobs.
Yeah.
Did you see that? The longest boobs of any
Painful.
cartoon character I've ever seen. I was like, huh?
Poor lady.
Oh, but and she was laughing at Goofy. I'm like,
I
go take care of
know.
your own house.
Ugh, jeez. So rude.
They call them Dork and Dork Jr.
Oh, I know. Why would you do that? And it's like, people, you are also at Lester's Possum Park. Like, come on.
Yeah.
You're not that much better.
Poor Goofy makes me so sad because he is just so authentically himself, and people
I
are
know.
so mean. He's earnest. People hate people
Yes,
that are earnest.
I know.
That is something that has always gotten to me where I'm just like, we just hate to see people actually having fun and actually being
Yes,
happy.
be happy.
And to see someone who's just so doesn't care about anything else, it's like people feel the need to laugh at it. And
Mhm.
I don't, this time I obviously this is what this movie is about, but this time it was like the time when I was like, he's authentic and you need to leave Goofy
I
alone.
know. Yes. And it is interesting because I do like, when you're watching this as a teenager, kid, whatever, like you are relating more to Max. And
Hmm.
you kind of get to the message at the end of it and you would agree, whatever. But like I feel like throughout it, these last few times that I've watched it as an adult, it is like Goofy's great. What's wrong with Goofy?
I want to be right there, like hanging upside down with him.
I
Although
know.
the last time I hung upside down, I broke my collarbone, so I probably won't do that.
Yeah, no, skip that part.
But I want to be right there, being like, goof, goof, goof,
I
goof.
know. Yes.
I think that's so funny because you used to identify with Max and then you grow up and you identify like that's what they talked a lot about in the documentary. And I'm saying that because I've just never been, as I said, a son or a father.
Yeah.
And they like kept talking about that whole thing where you grow up and obviously we don't have children, so it's not the
Mhm.
same thing. We did experience it on the Max side, but I think now we're experiencing this other thing where it's like, who cares what those other people think? We're
Right.
having fun.
Yeah. There's such a like adults aren't supposed to be goofy and have fun. And why not?
I only love being goofy and having fun. I
I
laugh and
know.
laugh and laugh all day long.
Yes. And having like everything be pink or like, have characters on it or whatever. I don't know. We only grew up in our time, so I don't know if it's different or whatever. But I feel like during our time, it was so like looked down upon to be like even a teenager and like,
Hmm.
those kind of things, like childish things. So I feel like adults now are like making up for it in a way.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Or being broke as a kid and being
True,
able to buy
yeah.
whatever you want now.
Yeah.
Which I love.
Couldn't buy those things.
And I mean I don't have money now, but I just do it anyways. I saw someone say online that like younger people don't dance in public anymore because they're afraid of being recorded.
Yeah.
And that makes me so upset
I
Stop. First of all,
know.
stop recording strangers. Stop taking
Right.
strangers' pictures. Stop it.
Hmm.
Like, stop. That makes you a bad person if you, especially if you take a picture or video of someone expressly to make fun of them.
Oh
You're a
yeah.
bad person. But also like stop doing that because let people live their lives.
Right. Like, yeah, that is true. It is unique now that everything you do is like could be captured and out there forever. We didn't have that fear.
Yeah, I think this really ties into the whole goofy of it all because you're not allowed to be your authentic self because you have to put on airs about what your internet self is, your social media
Mm,
self. And I
yeah.
mean, I'm guilty of it too, but then I just don't care
Right. Yeah.
because what's the point?
Mhm. I know. And yeah, just be you, just have fun, do whatever.
This movie really got to us.
It really did. It's so good.
It is so good. The next stop is like a camping stop for Max and Goofy. And that is where we're introduced to Pete's RV, which is the original
Wild.
glamping.
Yes. It's like it literally cuts down the trees around it to make room. What?
I made that note because I went, whoop. And it's so funny that like you see Max's reaction after that specific thing happens and he's like, cool,
Hmm.
Max.
Like, not cool, Max. Nope. You can have an RV, that's great. But don't be cutting down the trees around you.
And it unfolds like I have this pound puppy playset that looks like a van. And you can I just show you? Stop
Yes.
it. Let me show you. Okay.
Oh my God. That's
It's just
so
a
cute.
van. And then you open it, it's like,
Ah,
well, it's a town. It's not quite an RV, but it's like a town,
aw.
right? That's what that reminded me of. And theirs has like, I love pound puppies. I made my mom bring this to me. It's from my
Cute.
childhood. And it unfolds and it has like a swimming pool and a bowling alley and just like all of this stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, and theirs does. Their RV does. Oof.
Mhm.
I want it.
And it they come out and like the little ramp like falls directly on Goofy's little pathetic tent that he had just set up.
Yeah. He's making little PJ do all his chores.
He's a bad dad.
Yes, he is.
He thinks that the way to raise your child and what he wants Goofy to also do is raise them with fear. So they
Hmm.
are afraid of you and afraid of disappointing you and afraid of making you mad. So they do everything for you.
Hmm. Yeah. And that line when Pete is talking to Goofy and tells Goofy that the map was changed, Goofy doesn't believe him, which, it did happen, but beside the point. Goofy's saying like, our relationship isn't perfect, but Max loves me. And Pete is like, PJ respects me. He doesn't care if he loves him or not. It's all
He's
about,
never going to talk to you again after he moves out.
oh no, they're no contact for sure.
Yeah, they're unsee with each other.
Yes.
Yeah, poor Pete or poor little PJ. He seems so sweet. He's such a
I
little sweetie
know.
pie.
Oh, I love him.
And I've been trying to find this GIF and I cannot find it. But when they're walking out of school, PJ comes
Oh,
flying and
on his shoulders.
he just
So
jumps
good.
right onto his shoulders. I like how neither of us could talk. We're just doing finger gestures.
So funny.
It's so funny. And Pete is like, you Goof, you need to get your son in order and you need to tell him what to do. And Goofy's like, yeah, we're gonna go catch a fish. So
Yeah.
they go to the lake and Chekhov's perfect cast happens.
Hmm.
Chekhov's perfect cast for several
Yeah.
Chekhovs. It's
Yeah.
Chekhoving.
It is the Chekhov is Chekhoving for sure.
He does the perfect cast where he's doing all these different moves. Do you remember the moves?
Oh, not exactly. Something about, I remember him saying 10 to quarter to three or something.
Three-fourths of a cup and
All these twirls.
he ends up cooking the steak that P is cooking on the grill
Yes.
and dragging Bigfoot, who is real in this universe,
Yep.
over to them.
Yeah. And like huge. Like,
Hmm.
I don't think that Bigfoot is real, but the Bigfoot that you are accustomed to seeing is like, just slightly larger than human size, right? But this Bigfoot is like probably like 10 feet tall.
Especially because I think that Goofy is probably like 7 feet tall,
Yeah, he's supposed to be like
right?
outrageously tall. Yeah.
Tall and gangly.
Yeah. This guy, Bigfoot, is a big.
He's a big boy.
Hmm.
And he ends up getting them trapped in Goof's car.
Yeah.
And that's where they have their first like real moment of connection again. And
Mhm.
it's when they have this one can of vegetable soup.
Yeah.
And Goofy reminds Max that he called it Hi Dad soup
Oh,
because Max used to spell out short words
yeah. With
in
the
the
little
in the
letters.
letters.
That's
And then before Max drifts off to sleep, he gives Goofy his cup and it says,
It
Hi,
says
Dad.
hi, Dad.
Oh,
Oh,
that's the first time I swallowed hard.
I
I went,
know.
oh my. Whew.
Bigfoot's snoring away, sucking his thumb on the roof of the car.
Bigfoot and Goofy are just
I
snoring.
know. Poor Max.
It's like being in my apartment at times where like the cat and then my husband and then
Mhm.
like everyone's like it's just like a chorus of story and I do it
Yeah.
too because I've never been able to breathe in my entire life. It's just like a chorus of snores and it's so
Yeah.
funny.
Ours too,
I
for sure.
bet. Oh, does Daisy snore a lot with her teeth out?
She always has. It's not
Oh.
like really loud, but she has always snored.
Mm.
It was really cute.
Sometimes Gam like shakes the window. Like
Oh my God.
he can snore.
Oh. And you can't forget Bigfoot listening to Staying Alive on the little walk,
Bigfoot is
getting
getting
down.
it.
He
Yeah.
knows the moves even. The
Yeah.
little finger point
Well,
thing.
it just makes you want to do it.
Yeah,
Like,
it's just inherent.
I mean, the Bee Gees, man.
Yeah,
I love the Bee Gees, actually,
so
unapologetically.
good. Yeah,
Have you ever? They're three brothers. Did you know that?
I did know that.
Have you ever seen the music video to Staying Alive?
I feel like, yes, it's been a long time. They're just like walking down the road, right?
Yeah, but yeah, it's weird. It's
Yeah,
just like and like empty, like kind of warehouse looking places.
yeah.
Just
In like big
like
bell bottoms and
yeah, it's just like the juxtaposition between like staying alive and then it's just like
yes.
this like bleak landscape. It's really weird. It's cool. It's artistic, I think.
Yeah, about surviving the capitalist wasteland of America.
Wow. Ashley Deep.
Mhm. Yep.
And speaking of capitalistic wastelands of America,
Yes,
pretty sure the Bee Gees aren't American. I want to say they're British. They look British.
that could be. Yeah, I'm not sure on that.
So after
Mhm.
this, Max and Goofy getting back to things. We haven't talked like you and I haven't like chatted for a while, and I can tell because we're just
Yeah.
like, well, what about this other thing that happened?
Did you know about
'Cause
this?
VGs. They start to get along.
Yeah.
And Goofy gives him the map and is like, "You're in charge. I trust you."
Mhm.
And announces it to everyone,
At the little diner.
even though Max already changed the route.
Yeah.
And then you get this montage of all these different places that they're going. And at first they're going to like Monster Truck Rally, theme park, whatever. And then Max looks over and sees that his dad's not having a good time, and he brings
Yeah,
him to like the world's largest yarn store.
I know. The ball of yarn.
They are finding each other.
They are. And they're being considerate of each other.
Yeah,
Very
yeah, it's beautiful.
is.
Oh, can we talk about the Neptune Inn?
Yes. Oh my
The place
God.
is so cool.
I want to go there. The water beds,
With fish.
little fish in them.
I don't want it that. I don't want that.
No, that's
That's
that
sad.
seems very sad,
But he
cruel.
looks like underwater.
But they
It's
could
so
have fake
cool.
fish in there. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Little,
No.
little fish. The little the mermaid light, the lamp.
Hmm. The little mermaid.
Goofy's like, classy choice, son.
Good. It's beautiful. I love that so
Yeah.
much. I am currently so obsessed with motels, like old
Yes.
Americana, old school motels,
Hmm.
especially the ones along Route 66.
Yes.
I just had to mention that because I thought it was really cool.
Yeah. I mean, it's like the perfect one.
And like perfect like road trip aesthetics, vibes, whatever.
Hmm. Yeah, and good because I mean, you probably don't want to stay at that place for like long term for a whole vacation, but maybe just for
No,
the night, just stepping through.
it's a little weird to stay there with your son.
Yeah, just a little.
And in that hotel room is where you see that piece of pizza that's just like the longest.
The iconic pizza.
I want that pizza so
I
bad.
know.
Oh, I need to make a note to find that. Not the pizza, the picture.
That and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles pizza are like
Hmm.
the pizza.
I think my life would be great. I think everything would be cured. My hypothyroidism would be cured
Yeah, it
if
would.
I had that pizza.
I think so.
What do you think?
Let's find it. Let's do this.
You think you'd be cured if you had that pizza?
Yeah, I mean, the main thing with pots is just having a shit ton of sodium. So I'm set with that pizza.
But you
Got
have
it.
to have you're not supposed to.
No, you
I don't
have
know anything
to.
about. Oh.
Yeah,
Oh,
like a
eat
lot.
ramen. Eat a lot of
I know,
ramen.
yeah. It's like, yeah, it's a good one.
I need the opposite of that.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, that would cure you then. Okay, yeah. Forget
we're
it. I
good.
was just kidding
We
about
got
mine, but
this.
you're good.
Right.
Looks I'm like my mouth is watering thinking
I
about that
know.
pizza. Like I want it.
Yeah. Where do you find pizza that actually like drips the cheese like that? Is that real?
I don't think you can. Weirdly, I was watching this YouTube show with Rob Hubel and Paul Scheer, and Rob Hubel was talking about being in a Pizza Hut commercial where they kept on blow drying so the cheese would
Uh,
slip off. I
yeah.
love Rob Hubel so much. Oh, I'm in love with him. Do you know who that is?
I don't. I'm sorry.
That's okay, we'll move on.
End of episode.
The end of friendship.
Yeah,
So Goofy finds out about Max changing the map, and he's so angry and disappointed and sad.
I
He thought that they were
know.
getting along. And
Yeah,
so they get to the next day, they're driving, and they get to the fork in the road where it's either Idaho, I guess, but that's where like Destiny is. I wouldn't want to go there either.
yeah.
Or to Los Angeles, and he's like, pick one, and like knowing, and Max does pick Los Angeles, and then
Los
that's
Angeles.
that's the end
He's
of
so
their friend of their family. They go off into separate directions.
yeah. That's all. End of movie.
Goofy goes and moves in with Bigfoot.
Yeah.
No, but they do pull over on the side of the road, and it gets out and they're yelling at each other. And then the car starts going on, driving off by
Rolling.
itself.
They're on this like mountain road where there's just
Hmm.
like just one of those little bars on the side.
Hmm.
That's all that's holding them on.
and they're like they get in, but they're like bouncing on these like rock formations.
Yes.
And they end up in the water, like floating down a river, I guess.
Mhm.
And just on top, sitting on top of the car, and that's where they kind of like have it out. And sorry, this is where
I
I
know.
was sobbing.
I know. That's the best, sweetest, saddest line. He says, I have my own life now. And Goofy says, I know that. I just wanted to be a part of
Oh,
it.
I want to cry.
Oh my God.
I almost called my dad. I almost paused the movie and called my dad.
Oh, I know.
Oh, that was heartbreaking.
Yes.
Because you could tell that is all he wanted. He just
I
wanted like
know,
that
yeah.
connection.
And he does understand that he is growing up and he's not trying to keep him a little boy,
No.
but he is just trying to share things with them.
He's like, "Oh, you're in love. That's great.
Yeah.
Tell me all about
Oh,
it."
yeah. I just thought about you how even more sad that is because the mom isn't in the picture. We don't know what happened, if she died or left or
She
what,
ran
but
off with the other Disney moms, that's for sure.
yeah, yep. But
Yeah, they only have each other.
yeah.
I, you know, in the documentary when they're talking about how this was not a very successful movie, and they talk about how all the other Disney movies and movies for children are this big bad villain and this,
Mhm.
person having this kid, this younger person having this like strength to beat the big bad villain. And this
Yeah.
was so much different because there's no villain. There's
Mhm.
two people who have to come to this understanding of each other and like
Yeah.
learn how to meet each other halfway and love each other. And I, we need more stories like that for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And I do, like you said, like Inside Out, I feel like it's such a good one because
hmm
it does just that. Like you can understand where someone else is coming. You gotta see eye to eye, like you said. It's
Mm, yeah, so then
all about.
they they do end up going over a waterfall and Goofy saves Max with Chekhov's perfect cast. And
Perfect
then
cast.
Max saves Goofy with Chekhov's perfect cast. Because he
Yep.
remembers what his dad taught him. And then they're like, let's go to LA.
Yeah.
Let's because he does tell his dad the truth about like what he lied about. And he's like, well,
Yeah.
let's do it. We're going on stage. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh,
I know. I know. And I feel like the thing is like I think that Max felt bad about lying the whole time
Mhm.
too. And he wanted to tell him, but then he was like, we're actually starting to get along and I don't want to
Yeah.
ruin that.
Disappoint him.
Yeah. So I feel like Goofy actually like understanding why you did it and like going along with the plan is so important.
Goofy having no, like, just being 100% behind his son.
Yeah.
He wasn't even like, I'm disappointed that you did that, or like, hey, don't do that again. He's just like
Hmm.
accepts it and they move on. And they're like,
Yeah.
I don't, it's so beautiful.
Mm.
Honestly, it
Yeah.
is. Every single parent should watch this, and every single
Yeah.
child should watch this with their parent.
Yeah. Because like Max feels bad enough. He's like, I really messed this up with with Roxanne and my dad, and now I've ruined everything. It doesn't help to just like rub it in even more.
No, no, and the thing is Goofy. I feel so silly having this serious conversation and being like, Goofy, Goofy, Goofy does
That's
this.
true.
Goofy's so sweet, but
Yes.
yeah, but Goofy like I don't. He knows his son.
Hmm.
That's also what he told Pete. And even though in that moment his son was lying, like he still knows that he knows his son better than more than the mistakes that his son has made.
Yeah. Yeah, and even in the beginning, even when Pete is telling him like, "Oh, your son's getting into all this trouble and whatever," he doesn't Goofy doesn't buy into it. And then I don't know, that just shows like Goofy's vulnerability too to outside forces, because he's like,
Mhm.
he's just worried about him. And he's like, there's all these people telling me my son's in trouble. I gotta do something.
Wow, this is such a character stu like if you want to write a good story that has internal conflicts and a
Hmm.
character who is not necessarily like not a bad guy but makes mistakes, you
Yeah.
should study these characters because
Yeah.
Goofy, even though he doesn't care what other people think, his vulnerabilities, as you said, like lie in his son. And
Mhm.
so, like these things, these bad things potentially happening to his son is what he cares about, and that
Yeah.
like kind of cuts through the I don't care what anybody else thinks. He doesn't. While this is happening,
Mhm.
he's not like, what are people gonna think of me? They're gonna think I'm a bad dad or whatever. He's like, I want to protect my son at all costs.
Right. Yeah. That's all he cares about. Ugh, Goofy.
Did you feel goofy? Damn it, I'm gonna only say that now. Did you feel really silly just saying Goofy's vulnerabilities?
Yeah,
See, it's
I
really
know.
silly. But oh, what a beautiful film. And
Yes.
they get to the Powerline show, and what do you know? The perfect cast saves the day
Again.
again. And they get
Yep.
on stage and they dance with and Powerline and all of his backup dancers are doing the perfect cast.
Yep. Because it's a
Ah,
good dance move
it's a good dance move.
for the 90s.
Okay. I don't care what anybody else says. Oh my gosh, sorry. Please listen to our next week's episode, but seeing them doing the live
Amazing.
dances, so cool.
Yes.
Um, and so when they get home, I only have like a couple more things to talk about with like
Yeah.
the inside the movie. They get to Roxanne's, and first of all, Goofy's car just blows up. And when
I
they
know.
arrive, it's just falling apart. And you know what I like thought of when I saw that? I'm like, damn, do you know what other movie came out in 1995 of a road trip with an unlikely pair where they totally demolished a car?
Tommy
Tommy
Boy.
Boy!
Yes. And they talk about that. They say that in the documentary.
Oh my God. And I thought, and I put it before they even put that in the documentary. When I
Yeah.
was watching it, I was like, I've never ever thought that before.
I
And I
haven't
looked it
I
up and I
didn't
was
think
like,
about that.
Tommy Boy. Tommy
Yeah.
Boy. One of my favorite movies ever.
It's so good. So funny.
So
And
funny.
so 1995.
The 1995. But like it still holds up pretty well, actually.
Yeah.
I watched it like a couple months ago. I mean,
Yeah.
I watch it at least once a year, but I watched it twice this year.
Got it.
I had to.
30th anniversary.
You need it. Oh, yeah, I
Gotta
suppose
watch it
so.
30 times this year.
Is that the rule?
Yeah, it is.
But the other thing is that Roxanne, like, Max, like, tells her the truth and whatever, and is like, I didn't think you'd like me. And she says that she likes his laugh, the thing he's so
I
embarrassed
know.
about.
Yes. Because we didn't even talk about the dream sequence at the beginning.
Mm-mm.
Because she's ridiculous.
Mm.
Roxanne is in this field. She's like this ethereal being. Max is going after her,
Sophia Coppola's Marie Antoinette.
right? And then when Max finally finds her, he like literally morphs into Goofy. He's like
Mm-mm.
growing and does the laugh, and that's what he's worried about. It's like he's gonna turn into him because he is like him, but
Yeah,
that's
and it's a
okay.
good thing.
Yeah,
Oh,
that was so sweet. Just like, I already liked you.
my gosh.
I gotta tell you this too. That
Yes, please.
there there were so many just little subtle things that I thought they were they just add so much to it.
Mhm.
When they're in the car and Max is writing the letter because he's gonna tell Roxanne the truth. He's like, I'm sorry that I lied about this. I just wanted to impress you, whatever. And then he like erases it and he's like trying to write a letter I think first he's writing a letter just saying like, "Hey, I'll see you after I get back, after I'm on the stage." And then he's like, "No, actually, I lied. I'm sorry. This whatever." And then he
Yeah.
rips it up and throws it out the window. And that little piece, the "I lied," gets caught in the tree. That's so good. How do you think of that?
This movie. It's so beautifully done. There's so many small moments that I don't know, that just have so much meaning. It's just so
Yeah,
good. And I think that one of my biggest takeaways, or do you want to talk about any other small moments? Please.
no.
Okay. One of my biggest takeaways from this, if we're being completely serious right here and a little bit academic, is Goofy is like the embodiment of positive masculinity.
Oh, he is. He absolutely is. Yeah.
Like, we talk so much about what toxic masculinity looks like, and it's about, trying to take on all these like manly things that are so
Mhm.
dangerous for both men and women.
Right.
And I feel like we don't really talk about positive masculinity a lot, but I think that it has been kind of on the forefront of a lot of people's minds, especially
Yeah.
with that adolescent show coming out. I don't really know what that's about, but I know that there's been a lot of talk about teenage boyhood.
Yeah.
But also, we live in this fucking world where Andrew Tate is celebrated and all this stuff. And in 2025, let's make Goofy a positive masculine role model for
Yeah.
boys. Honest to God,
Absolutely.
I'm not joking right now.
No, no. He really is. He really, yeah. Like
Mhm.
just like what you like without being a big douche.
Yeah, don't be a douche. And also,
Yeah.
he's such a good father, and like in a way that he really lays down his emotions and like is honest and real with his son and tells him like how he feels, and he opens up his arms for his son to do the same for him. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm dead serious right now.
Mm. Yeah.
I think that that is what we talk about when we're like we need more like good male role models in media, because we have fucking, like I said, like the Andrew Tates and the Joe Rogans and fucking our president. For whatever reason, we think that that's the top of masculinity, which is absolutely
First.
disgusting.
Yeah.
And please, fucking Goofy Goof
Hmm.
is what what men should look up to if they want to be influenced positively in masculinity.
Yeah. Absolutely. Because I mean, the only people that are looking down on that are men who are afraid to be that.
Pray to show their emotions.
Mhm. And boys aren't taught to do that.
Hmm.
They're taught
Yeah.
to hide their emotions and not be a girl.
Yeah. Ooh, little
That's like
pussy.
the insult.
Yeah. I do have one more question though.
Yeah.
Are gloves a biological part of Goofy and Max's bodies?
I don't know. They might be because they have them on all the time. In the hot tub, gotta have your gloves on.
Why is Max wearing like a hoodie and like jean shorts
A short
mm,
sleeve hoodie.
and gloves and
Yeah.
white gloves?
I don't know. Maybe it's a requirement of
The
Goofville, wherever they live. No, I don't. Nobody else has them, do they?
No, I don't think so. Well,
I mean, Mickey.
actually, I think that they do because I think when Roxanne reaches out, does she have? No.
I don't know.
No, now I'm
Uh,
doubting it.
I does Pete? Do Pete and PJ have them?
P and PJ might.
Okay. Okay. Interesting.
Okay, I might need to do another watch just to see who has gloves and who does not.
That is very interesting because they look alike.
Oh, I have questions about that.
Yeah. Huh. That is very interesting. Wait, I think Bobby does. Probably
I was
sure.
wondering. Yeah,
I
because
gotta
I
look
was
up a
wondering if he
picture
put
here.
cheese on those damn gloves.
Yuck. They're all orange.
He just had cheese dripping off of him at all times, and it made me want to hurl, honestly.
I know. The Leaning Tower of Pisa. Yep. Yep. Bobby does. Roxanne does not.
Mm. So is
Um,
that men?
yep.
Is it men?
PJ. Oh, maybe. Oh, now
Hmm.
that would be
Interesting.
interesting. Powerline even. Powerline
Oh,
has them.
it's not just white hands. There's a
There's
glove.
a clear glove. But now that is even more like, do any of the females have them? I don't see any. Weird.
D Look up Stacy.
Casey doesn't. She
No?
doesn't.
Oh, look up the secretary because I think that's the only other one. Oh wait, the girls going eh. Oh, the girls going eh. The goth
The
girls. They don't
secretary
have that. They
does not.
the girls. They don't have any. I think those are the only women pictures I have.
Oh, waitress.
Wait, she doesn't.
Nope. Wow. Okay.
Okay, wow.
Now that's even like
Oh, and yeah, and then
now.
when you look in this picture where she's twirling her hair, that guy next
Yeah.
to her has gloves.
Oh, that is weird. That is a
Mm.
good observation there.
So
Because now it's like, are they like they're hiding? They're like hiding them. They have these gloves on. They should have taken the gloves off at the end once they
but
became their true selves.
you know what? I what? I was gonna say that maybe the men in this world, in our world, should wear gloves, and maybe they'll be
Hmm.
a little more positive about their emotions
Yeah,
and tell their sons how they feel.
maybe put those gloves
And
on,
the other
guys.
thing is that Goofy himself had a positive male role model in his own father.
That is true.
Hmm.
That
Are you
is
still
a
looking?
very good
Are you
point,
still
actually.
looking up gloves?
I just wanted to look up, and this is the
I'm
exception,
having
it
I'm
seems.
having a moment,
Principal
and
Mazer does not have gloves on.
oh wow.
Wait, one more second.
Are you looking at Roxanne's dad?
Okay, Roxanne's dad does not. And
Okay. Well,
Pete does.
this is getting weirder and
Pete should
weirder.
not in my theory, but whatever.
Okay, but we haven't seen any women goof like women.
That's true.
So maybe it is by family because if Roxanne and her fa we have to stop talking about this and we have to move on.
The
Um,
gloves are not that deep.
I'm really confused about this though. What is the theory on this? What is listeners? What do you think? Do you think that the gloves are have deeper meaning?
I I don't know. I gotta think about this myself.
What do you think about Goofy? What do you think about Goofy and Max's relationship? You should let us know.
You really should.
Yeah.
There's discussion to be had.
Do you have any other thoughts or questions about the anatomy of a goof?
I didn't until you just said that.
It is weird that they're all dogs, but
You
they're
know,
humans.
interesting.
Okay, let's get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, let's go.
Let's say, okay, first of all, last of all, happy birthday to one of our favorite movies, a
Yes.
movie that had a huge impact on our friendship and on
Mhm.
us when we were children and teenagers. And next week we're going to be doing a bonus episode about the documentary, which is not just a goof. Super great. I loved it.
So good.
Excited to talk about it right after this. And then also this month, we're gonna do another really important around the same time, I would say
So
another
important.
thing that was really important to us around the same time, the basement years.
Yeah,
Um that's just what we should call them, the
for
basement
sure.
years. Ashley, what are we doing in 2 weeks?
What not to wear?
Yeah,
One of my
Stacey London
favorite
and
things
Clinton
ever.
Kelly.
Oh, God, I loved that so much. It's
And we're
so
doing
bad.
that because the new version of that comes out where whatever you
The
want
F
or
you
whatever,
want.
or whatever the F you want. And we will be doing actually a bonus episode on that as well because
Yeah,
I thought that would be really fun. But yeah, so that's it.
thanks for joining us on this trip down memory lane.
Thanks for singing eye to eye with us.
Hmm. Go, go stand out above the crowd.
All right, bye. Oh wait, no.
Bye.
Hey, also wait, no. Also review
Oh,
us and rate and review us on whatever podcast platform you're currently listening, and follow us on Instagram at Nostalgic Nightcaps. And then okay, bye.
do all the things. Goodbye.